Carrie?
Are you there now? Okay. Can you hear me
Sorry,
now?
we
Okay.
got disconnected.
No problem. Okay. Well, let's go. I just welcome the group that's on the line, and we can go to the next slide if you would.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh.
There we go. Very good. Okay. Okay, I think we're working now. Okay, very good. Okay, well, again, thank you for attending. I'm Kerry Redican, and I'm a professor at Virginia Tech, a professor of public health, and I'm currently the Board of Commissioners chair of NCHEC, and I'll be presenting some of the upfront material that's leading us into the more in-depth discussion. And Melissa Opp, who is the NCHEC Deputy Executive Director, will be also communicating a lot of this material to you, that's providing you with an update and some of the benefits and so forth. Melissa, you want to advance the slide?
Sure.
Okay, our learning objectives for our webinar is number one, to discuss the changes to the National Health Education and Promotion Certification Exams Administration, and the second, to discuss what will remain the same and what will change with the shift from paper-based testing to computer-based testing. So this is really the focus of our presentation today. Advance. Okay, for nearly 30 years, NCHEC has been administering a paper-based exam to measure the competency of individual health education and promotion practitioners. Since then, we've been partnering with universities across the country, about 130, to proctor the paper-based examinations. The current CHES and NCHES exams consist of 165 multiple-choice questions, of which 150 are scored and 15 are pilot tested. Individuals are tested on the 7 areas of responsibilities, competencies, and subcompetencies identified in the most recent job analysis study. 3 hours is given to complete the exam, which is offered in April and October each year. Currently is offered on one Saturday in each cycle. In other words, one Saturday in October and one Saturday in April. The last paper-based exam, or what we call PBT exam, will be offered this April 2018. The registration for that exam is currently open and will close on March 1st. This will be the last time a paper test will be administered at the university proctored locations. Next slide. Beginning in October 2018, the Certified Health Education Specialist and the Master Certified Health Education Specialist examinations will change to computer-based testing, or what we'll refer to as CBT, at proctor vendor site. NCHEC will continue to utilize Prometric, which is the same vendor administering the PBT test. Prometric administers more than 1 million exams a year worldwide for more than 350 clients. They are a leader in computer-based testing administration with the best in-class testing facilities and a trained, fully certified testing staff. It is sometimes said that change can be met with resistance, and although the thought of the new format for sitting for an exam in a testing center rather than a classroom could be daunting for some, we are pleased that this important transition has been met with resounding enthusiasm by our potential candidates and by university faculty preparing students for this examination. I'm also delighted that NCHEC boards and staff have embraced this opportunity to provide our candidates with enhanced testing experience from start to finish. Next slide. So why do CBT? Well, the benefits of CBT are numerous. First, there's a 10-day window covering 2 weekends to take the examination. The change will then provide for more frequent and convenient testing times. Again, we were locked into one Saturday in October and one Saturday in April. Now we have a much longer window where people will be able to schedule the exam. There's 24 scheduling and customer service. There's enhanced testing accommodation solutions. There's increased efficiency of exam administration, advanced security protocols, faster score notification, significant expanded footprint in the US and abroad, and rescheduling options. Much of these things we have not had the luxury with the paper-based tests that were administered on one Saturday in April and in October. So the benefits are just immense, and we're excited about this transition to computer-based testing. I'll let Melissa go ahead and pick it up with some of the computer-based testing specifics. Melissa, you want to go ahead and pick it up with slide 7 in terms of dates?
Sure. Thanks, Carrie. And I do want to make mention that during the presentation, if anyone has any particular questions, you can enter them in the question area on the platform, and we're hoping to have some time at the end of our prepared presentation to answer some of those questions. So talking about some important dates as we shift to computer-based testing. So like Carrie mentioned, the first time we offer a CBT exam will be this coming October 2018. The registration for that exam will open on May 1st of 2018 and will close the end of August 31st, 2018. Like Carrie mentioned as well, we're going to be opening up our testing to a 10-day window. So, you know, no more just one Saturday in October, one Saturday in April. We're going to have a 10-day window that will fall over 2 weekends. So it'll open on Thursday, October 12th, and run through that following Saturday, October 21st, to you know, really give more of an option for those who are wanting to sit for the exam. So in terms of the examination process itself, or application process itself, rather, you know, that will still happen through the NCHEC office. So those interested in applying for the CHES and MCHES exams will go to the NCHEC website and, you know, go through the application process there. We're really excited to be offering a new application platform as well, opening May 1st. We're hoping this is, you know, more user-friendly with a very friendly interface for those who are applying for the CHES and MCHES exams starting on May 1st. So again, an individual would apply through the website. They'd be able to upload transcripts or even advisor letters through the online portal through NCHEC, and that information would be sent over to our exam coordinator for review. So we're really encouraging people to register early and send in all their needed materials. So any incomplete application will delay the processing of that application. So, you know, if one, you know, submits their application, but, you know, we're still waiting on transcripts, you know, and other needed items, you know, that's going to delay the review of the entire application by the exam coordinator. We're just stressing it a lot about, you know, applying early and scheduling the exam early, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation. Some other things that will remain the same is the student options we currently have with the CHES exam and the application process. We will continue to have a 90-day option for those students who will be graduating within 90 days of sitting for either the October or April exam. They still will need that advisor letter from the advisor to go along with that application and transcript. So we will still be doing that. And we will still be offering student discounts. So if a student is considered a full-time student by that university, I know that number of credit hours sometimes varies, you know, they still would get a student fee, and I'll talk a little bit about fees in the next slide. And then again, I'm going to talk about this throughout the presentation today, you know, just encouraging people to, you know, register early and not wait till the very end to register. So in terms of our fees and schedule, this is something that will change with the CBT. Right now we have 4 exam windows with, not exam windows, deadline windows with our paper base. So moving to CBT, we're actually going to go down to 3. So we're going to have an early bird registration, and you'll see that, you know, we still have that student fee low at $220, and that will be open for the first month. So that will be the early bird registration. Again, that will open on May 1st. And then we'll have what we call a regular registration. That will be 2 months of the open window of registration. And, you know, I will make mention, I know the pre-screen service is, you know, very popular. That pre-screen service then would be open for the early bird and the regular registration, but not for the late registration. And that stays the same too. You know, that's how we handle the pre-screens right now. And then we'll have a late registration that will be the last month to get in those registrations. So again, you know, right now we do the 4 deadlines. We're just, you know, changing that to 3, moving to computer-based testing. And, you know, these fees are also published on our website as well. Same goes for the MCHES exam. You know, we'll be doing the 3 registration periods as well, the early bird, the regular, and the final. And then, you know, like we have right now with the paper-based, we do offer a discount for those who are current CHES and interested in applying for the MCHES. We give a discount there. So Carrie made mention that we are going to be continuing to utilize Prometric. We use Prometric now for our paper-based exam, and we're going to continue to use Prometric for our CBT option. So this slide just shows all of the Prometric locations within the US. We do have a website available, even though our exam registration doesn't open until May 1st. We do have an area on the Prometric website. The link is prometric.com/NCHEC, and there individuals can locate a Prometric test center. You can enter your zip code and you can find the nearest Prometric facilities. Again, they offer hundreds of facilities in the US, and they you know, have several test sites even internationally. So you know, NCHEC's using Prometric for, you know, taking the CHES and MCHES exams. And, you know, Carrie mentioned this as a big benefit, as, you know, right now we only offer the exams internationally at US embassies. So this will really open up the opportunities for those who are, you know, practicing internationally, that they can, you know, take the exams there, and then, you know, the hundreds of opportunities to take it within the US as well. So test sites are typically open 6 days a week, and normally the normal hours of operation are 8 to 5, but that does vary, you know, by location. And, you know, once an individual does locate their specific test center, they can find out the specific, you know, hours of operation by that test center. Individuals will need to bring in a current government issued ID to test, and that's the same as we offer, or we, you know, require right now to sit for the CHES and MCHES exam at universities across the country. So I encourage everyone to, you know, utilize this portal to help find out where the closest Prometric testing sites are to you. In terms of scheduling the exam, so once someone is deemed eligible, they will get a confirmation email from NCHEC. So that will give them an eligibility number and detailed information on how they go about registering or scheduling at a Prometric location. So there's 2 ways that an individual could do this. They could go to an online portal through Prometric, and, you know, it will allow them to find their testing location and select it like within a calendar. So that 10-day window will pop up with all of the selected, or I should say available days and tests that the CHES and MCHES exam is offered there. So, or there's a 800 number that they can call that's staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that they could just call a Prometric representative and they could walk them through the process, let them know what, you know, testing facilities are close to them, you know, by the zip code they provided and the days and times that are available to take the CHES and MCHES exam. So, you know, we're hoping that, you know, is very easy and user-friendly for people who are scheduling for their exam. So again, the scheduling of the exam itself is not done through the NCHEC office. That's something that is changed that would be handled directly through the Prometric site. And, you know, we will be providing, you know, a detailed email to those people who are found eligible of how they would go about scheduling their exam. Another benefit that goes with the CBT is that someone can reschedule. So, you know, we know schedules change. We know people's lives are, you know, very busy and sometimes things come up. So we do have the opportunity to reschedule. You know, maybe you selected the first day of the window on that Thursday and, you know, another appointment came up. So you can go in and, you know, go back to that portal through Prometric and reschedule based on the availability at that site and the days. There is no fee to reschedule as long as it's 30 days out of the exam. There will be a $30 fee for those who try to reschedule between 30 days and 2 days before the exam. And 2 days prior to the exam, there is not an option to reschedule. So this is another, you know, place where, you know, we're just encouraging people to, you know, register early as, you know, spots will fill up at test sites, you know, to take the exams. Another question that sometimes comes up is special accommodations. So special accommodation requests will still be handled through the NCHEC office, through the NCHEC exam coordinator. All requests for special accommodations would need to be supplied to the exam coordinator with the supporting documentation. All Prometric facilities can accommodate special accommodations. They actually have a special room, or a separate room, I should say, for special accommodations. The most common special accommodation that we see is more time. People are requesting, you know, more time allotted to take the exam, a reader, or possibly larger print. So, you know, with the larger print, Prometric can provide enlargement of the screen if people need a larger print for the exam. So those are some of the common special accommodations that we hear about. And, you know, again, Prometric is, you know, well equipped to handle all of those special accommodations. So when those requests come through, you know, the exam coordinator will keep all that documentation, and then she will go in and make sure those special accommodations are handled at the appropriate Prometric site based on where that candidate plans to test. So that will just be some communication between the exam coordinator and that candidate who is requesting the special accommodation. So in terms of the exam itself, the exam is not going to change. The questions, you know, will remain in that multiple choice format. So we have, you know, currently 165 questions on both the CHES and MCHES exams. 150 are scored and 15 are pilot tested. People will continue to have 3 hours to complete the exam. So that does not include, there is a tutorial at the beginning of taking the exam with just instructions on sort of how to operate, you know, the screen and how to go through the exam. And at the end, there'll be a questionnaire, a survey. So the time it takes to do those things does not, you know, is not accounted for when you hit start the exam. So people can flag questions and return to them to review. They can change the answers. So, you know, they'll be able to be pretty flexible as they're maneuvering through the exam itself. Scratch paper will be available. It's actually going to be more of like a whiteboard than, you know, scratch paper that we're used to. And then noise canceling headphones can be provided. So, you know, that doesn't need to have a special accommodation request. You know, if people, you know, just kind of want more of a, I guess, a quieter environment, you know, they can get those noise canceling headphones just as a request at the facility when they're taking the test. So I think one of the biggest benefits, at least for the CHES exam, is the instant notification of the score. So CHES candidates will receive an unofficial pass, did not pass, after they complete the exam. So what will happen is someone will complete the exam, and then momentarily they will get an email from Prometric that gives them, you know, a preliminary, you passed or did not pass the CHES exam. So the official score report, certificates, the ID numbers, that will come, we're saying 4 to 6 weeks after the exam window opens. We're hoping that's a little bit shorter, you know, since, you know, we're not waiting for all the papers to come back and Scantrons and things like that. But because this is the first time doing that, we're just, you know, trying to, you know, say 4 to 6 weeks, but we're, you know, hoping that will be sooner, that individuals will receive their official score reports, you know, broken out by area of responsibility, their certificate from NCHEC, and those ID numbers will be assigned. For those individuals who are the 90-day candidates, so those who, you know, needed the advisor letters to sit for the exam, they will still need to provide that proof of graduation before their exam results are mailed. So, you know, if I know that there's several universities that, you know, require the students to take the exam. So, you know, the student can show the email that says they passed or did not pass, but they won't receive any of their, you know, official documents from NCHEC until we receive that notice that, you know, their diploma or the official transcript showing that they graduated. So in terms of the MCHES exam, right now, unfortunately, we're not able to provide instant pass or did not pass notice. We're hoping that changes in the near future. Due to the smaller number of eligible MCHES candidates, this exam is officially scored after all the candidates have completed the exam. It needs to go through some additional scoring, and we, you know, need the psychometricians to take, you know, a closer look at those exams for validity and accuracy. So again, we're hoping as the numbers of MCHES continue to increase, that's something that we can change in the near future. But at least for the first CBT administration in October, they will not be able to receive an instant pass, did not pass notification, that they will be waiting 4 to 6 weeks after the exam window to get, you know, the notification, and then if they did pass, their certificate, score report, and all of the information that's included in that. So as we're, you know, transitioning to, you know, CBT, you know, we have been getting some questions, you know, from universities, you know, as they, you know, talk with their students and, you know, have just been preparing, you know, their students for this change. So I was just gonna, you know, try to go over, you know, some of the questions that, you know, we've been getting. And I think one of the biggest ones is, you know, we know that universities have computer labs, and, you know, they they are prepared to do computer-based testing in these labs. And, you know, a question we're often getting is, oh, can we provide the CHES and MJES exams directly on our campus at these labs? And, you know, it's not impossible, but that's sort of not the approach that we're taking with the transition to computer-based testing. NCHEC has contracted solely with Prometric to deliver the CHES and MCHES exams through this global Prometric test center network. So it's a different you know, platform that then the ETS centers are utilizing. So it's a separate contractual agreement with those ETS centers. And I know that, you know, those ETS centers are generally offering a lot of the big exams, the GREs, the MCATs, and things like that. So that's a separate contract and really a different platform than the Prometric sites that we're utilizing. There's a different platform they're using. It's a different type of technology that they're offering. So while not impossible, our intent isn't to have all these different contracts going on between ETS centers and you know, NCHEC. That we want to just focus on handling that within the Prometric centers to deliver those exams, because they are state of the art and, you know, really are, you know, out there to provide an enhanced experience to taking the exams. Another question that we have been getting is, what if the students have to travel? So, you know, many of our candidates have to travel to take the examination. I think with the wide range of dates and times available, and, you know, the increased number of test site locations, the distance that all candidates need to travel, not just students, will, you know, hopefully decrease with the transition to CBT. And I think just the, you know, the schedule flexibility is a huge factor here. You know, before it was just one date, one Saturday for people to test, and now with that new window, I think it really does, you know, open up the opportunities, you know, for people to be able to, you know, travel and, you know, take the test within, you know, such a larger window, and, you know, trying to accommodate busy schedules and things like that. So, you know, we're hoping that, you know, because of the larger test window, that, you know, that will sort of help with that that question about having to travel to the test sites. We've been just had some questions about what Prometric centers are like, and they're secure, modern facilities. Like I said, they have centers in the U.S. and around the globe, and really the advanced security capabilities. They have certified staff that are, you know, working there, and you know, just like I said, the technology and security there is just a really plus. You know, as we're a credentialing organization and always mindful about security of our exams and things like that, you know, Prometric has sort of all of those policies and procedures in place. If people are nervous about taking a computerized test, I know some people really, you know, aren't familiar with doing that. Prometric does have 2 resources on their website. They have what's called a test drive, and you can, you know, really go through the process of, you know, what it's like to take the test. You know, they also have, you know, just a presentation on what to expect on test day for those people who might be a little bit nervous about, you know, taking the test at a Prometric facility, you know, versus on a university campus with a Scantron and things like that. So there are resources out there for people who, you know, might be a little apprehensive about taking a test on the computer versus a paper-based. In this process, I think we're finding that, you know, communication is key, especially when, you know, there's change. And, you know, Carrie mentioned we've been, you know, offering a paper-based exam for almost 30 years. So this is a, you know, different way we're doing business. So, you know, communication is key, and we're really trying to put that information out there and make it available. We do have a page on our website just about computer-based testing information. We have a CBT FAQs page that really outlines much of what I talked about today, you know, in terms of, you know, where to register, the application process, all of that. So we're going to continue to, you know, have information as it becomes available. So I encourage everyone to visit our website, you know, often to see if there is any changes made. We do have CBT flyers available. So if there's anyone that would like flyers for their universities to hand out in the classroom or have in a faculty room or anything like that, you know, feel free to email admin@ncheck.org, and we can send out some of those flyers to you. We're going to continue to provide, you know, webinars and opportunities to present the information about computer-based testing. If there's faculty that have access to students and maybe want a similar presentation, we would be happy to, you know, provide that to you to share with students or other faculty. You know, there will be some more information that comes out. We're working on a handbook that talks about, you know, all the changes within the exam to computer-based testing, and, you know, even hoping to be able to walk someone through the application process and things like that. So, you know, we're working on some more resources, and again, always want to be there to sort of, you know, be a resource for those who, you know, have any questions for students and faculty and things like that. So, and we're always encouraging people to follow us on our social network sites. We have a Facebook page, a LinkedIn page, a YouTube channel, and Twitter. So, Jess Wessner is our communications person, and she's always on there daily, you know, any updates that are going on through our organization and sharing that. So we always encourage people to join us on those social platforms. Okay, so we definitely have time for some questions, and I'm playing double duty here. So I just finished presenting, so I'm going to go and look to see if we have any questions. So while I do that, Carrie, I'm hoping that I covered everything that we wanted to cover. I don't know if you have any comments while I looked at some of these questions.
Yeah. Okay. No, it was very complete. I think it was very, very complete, Melissa. So we'll be happy to entertain some questions.
Those are the questions from Jess.
Oh, okay. So I got some questions here.
Okay.
All right, so at what point can students register, schedule for the exam in the application process? Only after their applications have been processed, or as soon as they apply, or before they apply? Okay, so in order to register for the exam through Prometric, someone has to be found eligible through the NCHEC office. So similar to how it happens now, you know, someone applies for the exam and it has to go through a review process. So, you know, that's why it's very important to send in those transcripts early, any advisor letters if you're on 90-day. So that full application can be reviewed at once. Application is not going to be reviewed if they're missing information like a transcript or an advisor letter. So once a person is found eligible through the NCHEC office, so eligible to sit for the exam, they will get the information to how to register for their exam through Prometric. So they're found eligible, they'll get an email that says, congratulations, you're eligible for the CHES exam. This is how you register through Prometric. And excuse me, they'll tell you those ways, either, you know, registering online through the Prometric portal, or, you know, calling that 1-800 number. So they would not be able to access that registration portal without, I mentioned before, that eligibility ID number is how you're gaining access to Prometric. So without that eligibility ID number from NCHEC, someone would not be able to schedule their exam. Again, we can't stress enough how important it is to register early, get all your exam information early so you're found eligible and you can continue that process by securing your date and time with Prometric. So I hope I answered that question. Okay, another question is, the actual test time is 3 hours, but how long is the appointment time, which would include the tutorial, questionnaire, etc.? So the total time is 3.5 hours. So when a person would register for their seat, it's actually in a 3.5 hour increment. So that would include the 3 hours allotted to take the exam, and then it gives another half hour in there to do the tutorial, the questionnaire, you know, reading sort of the information about, you know, that you're not going to, you know, cheat and share the information of the CHES exam. You know, all that information, you know, is part of that 3.5 hour slot. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm just looking at questions here, seeing if there's any more. I'm having a hard time opening this part of it. I know there's some questions about the fee schedule, about, I'm sorry, this is like very small for me to read. Okay. Where'd it go? I apologize.
One at the bottom.
Okay. It's okay. Here's one. Thanks so much. I'm the chair of Health Science Department. I was wondering if NCHEC can look at our public health major curriculum and determine if our students are eligible to take the exam. Yes, that's a service that we can do. If we can talk offline, you can email the exam coordinator, Tanya Cole. It's T as in Tanya, COLE @nchec.org, and she can help you with that. So you know, oftentimes you know, people have questions about, you know, we don't pre-approve programs, but you know, we can help you determine which courses align with the 7 areas of responsibility and would help someone be eligible for the exam. Okay, I'm just looking at some other questions here. No, I'm waiting for another question.
Last one.
The last one. At the Prometric sites delivering the exam, are the administration windows blocked so that only CHES and MCHES can test, or can anyone take a test during these windows? Okay. So, when we were planning our window, so the answer to that is no. I mean, when someone is taking the CHES and MCHES exam at Prometric facilities, they could be sitting next to someone who's taking an insurance licensing exam or something like that. So no, you know, we're not the only exams being offered simultaneously at those sites. However, when we were looking into, you know, what our exam window was going to be like in October, we were working with Prometric to say, you know, are there like large exams happening during this window? You know, we don't want our, you know, our test takers to have issues trying to, you know, register against other large exams. So, you know, that was one of the reasons why we picked the window we did, that, you know, they indicated that no, there aren't, you know, large national exams going on at that same time. So yes, you know, there, it's not, I should say, no, the window isn't blocked just for CHES and MCHES, but, you know, we were very mindful of, you know, looking at that special window to make sure that, you know, there weren't, you know, large, you know, exams going on at that same time. So I apologize if I seem a little scattered, you know, trying to sort of, you know, finish the presentation and, you know, gather the questions. I probably should have had someone else help me do that. So again, I apologize if I seem a little scattered. I'm just trying to sort of read the questions and, you know, make those available to you. I will say that, you know, NCHEC is here as a resource. So, you know, please, if there are, you know, any specific questions, anyone from the NCHEC office would be, you know, happy to answer those, you know, offline. If there's, you know, specific questions that pertain to your university, you know, I know, you know, universities are, you know, all over the country, you know, some rural, some not. So, you know, we would be happy to, you know, answer any questions. And again, we're really here to, you know, work with universities. You know, we've been partners through all these years to help us deliver the exam, and why we won't be delivering them exactly at universities anymore. We want to continue that partnership and being a resource for faculty and students. So I thank everyone for their time today and interest in this topic. Again, we hope to have more webinars on CBT as we, you know, transition into this process. And again, always here to answer any questions. We are planning to send an evaluation out about the webinar, so please look for that in your inbox. Carrie, anything you want to add?
That should do it. Thank you very much for attending.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.